Welcome to this deep dive into one of the most influential books ever written, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. If you've ever wondered what it takes to truly connect with others, to build lasting relationships, and to become someone people genuinely like and trust, then you're in the right place. Imagine being able to walk into any room, any situation, and immediately make a positive impression. Imagine being able to influence others, not through manipulation or coercion, but through understanding, empathy, and respect. This book isn't just a guide, it's a roadmap to transforming how you interact with the world around you. First published in 1936, How to Win Friends and Influence People has sold millions of copies worldwide, and for good reason. The principles Dale Carnegie shares are timeless, and they work just as well today as they did nearly a century ago. But what makes this book truly powerful is its simplicity. Carnegie doesn't just tell you what to do, he shows you how small, thoughtful actions can have a profound impact on your relationships and your life. Throughout this audiobook summary, we're going to break down these principles and explore how you can apply them in your everyday interactions. We'll dive into real-world examples, analyze the psychology behind Carnegie's advice, and give you practical tips that you can start using right away. Whether you're looking to improve your personal relationships, advance in your career, or simply become a better, more compassionate communicator, this summary has something for you. So sit back, relax, and let's embark on this journey together. By the end of this audiobook, you'll have the tools you need to not just win friends and influence people, but to do so in a way that's authentic, meaningful, and lasting. Fundamental techniques in handling people. We begin with the foundational techniques that are crucial for handling people effectively. These principles might seem straightforward, but their application requires thoughtful consideration and consistent practice. Carnegie starts with a powerful message. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. It's a natural human reaction to point out faults and express dissatisfaction. But Carnegie warns that this approach often backfires. When criticized, people tend to become defensive, justifying their actions rather than reflecting on them. This is because criticism, no matter how well-intentioned, often feels like a personal attack. Consider a workplace scenario where a manager criticizes an employee's performance in front of others. The employee is likely to feel humiliated and demotivated, which can lead to resentment and a decrease in productivity. Instead, Carnegie suggests focusing on positive reinforcement, highlighting what the person is doing right and gently guiding them toward improvement. This approach not only preserves the individual's dignity, but also fosters a more supportive and cooperative environment. Next, Carnegie emphasizes the importance of honest and sincere appreciation. In a world where many are quick to find fault, genuine appreciation stands out. It's not about empty flattery, but about recognizing and valuing the contributions and efforts of others. When you express sincere appreciation, you're acknowledging the person's worth, which strengthens your relationship and builds trust. Imagine a leader who regularly acknowledges the hard work of their team. This recognition boosts morale and motivates the team to continue performing well. It's important, however, to ensure that your appreciation is specific and genuine. For instance, instead of simply saying, "You did a great job," you could say, "I really appreciate how you handled that difficult client with such patience and professionalism. It made a significant difference." Carnegie's third fundamental technique is to arouse in the other person an eager want. This principle is rooted in empathy, understanding the desires and motivations of others. To influence someone effectively, You need to frame your ideas in a way that aligns with their interests and goals. For example, if you're trying to persuade a colleague to take on a challenging project, rather than focusing on why it's important to you, emphasize how this project could provide them with valuable experience, showcase their skills to senior management, and potentially lead to future opportunities. By aligning your request with their personal goals, you make it more compelling and increase the likelihood of their enthusiastic cooperation. 6 ways to make people like you. The second part of Carnegie's book offers 6 key strategies for making people like you, an essential aspect of building strong, positive relationships. One of the most effective ways to connect with others is to become genuinely interested in them. People can sense when your interest is authentic versus when it's merely superficial. By taking the time to learn about others, ask meaningful questions, and listen attentively to their answers, you show that you value them as individuals. In a social setting, this might mean asking someone about their hobbies, family, or recent experiences, and truly engaging in the conversation rather than waiting for your turn to speak. This kind of interaction creates a bond, making the other person feel valued and understood. Another simple yet powerful tool for making a positive impression is to smile. A smile is a universal gesture of goodwill and can instantly make you appear more approachable and friendly. It's not just about the physical act of smiling. It's about embodying a positive and open attitude that others can sense. Consider the difference between entering a room with a stern expression versus entering with a warm smile. The latter immediately puts others at ease and sets a positive tone for any interaction that follows. Smiling can also have a profound impact on your own mood and the atmosphere of the environment you're in. Carnegie also highlights the importance of remembering and using people's names. A person's name is deeply personal, and hearing it in conversation can create a sense of recognition and respect. By remembering names and using them naturally in conversation, you show that you see the other person as an individual rather than just another face in the crowd. In professional settings, taking the time to remember the names of colleagues, clients, and associates can go a long way in building rapport. For example, when meeting someone for the first time, try to repeat their name a few times during the conversation. This helps reinforce your memory and makes the other person feel acknowledged. Being a good listener is another critical skill that Carnegie emphasizes. In today's fast-paced world, true listening is a rare and valuable quality. When you listen actively, you're not just waiting for your turn to speak, you're fully engaged in what the other person is saying, responding thoughtfully, and showing empathy. Active listening involves maintaining eye contact, nodding to show you're following along, and asking clarifying questions when needed. This type of listening makes the other person feel heard and valued, which is crucial in building strong, lasting relationships. When conversing with others, it's also important to talk in terms of their interests. People are naturally more engaged when the conversation revolves around topics they care about. This principle is about aligning your discussions with the other person's passions and concerns. For instance, if you know that a colleague is passionate about environmental sustainability, you could discuss new initiatives in your company that align with those values. By focusing on what matters to them, you not only keep the conversation engaging, but also strengthen your connection with the person. Finally, Carnegie advises to make the other person feel important, and do it sincerely. Everyone wants to feel valued and appreciated, and when you recognize someone's worth in a genuine way, it creates a powerful bond. This principle is about treating others with the respect and appreciation they deserve. Whether in personal or professional relationships, taking the time to acknowledge someone's contributions, skills, or character can have a lasting impact. The key is to ensure that your appreciation is heartfelt and specific, as people can easily detect insincerity. How to win people to your way of thinking. In the third part of the book, Carnegie delves into strategies for influencing others and winning them over to your way of thinking, without resorting to force or coercion. Carnegie suggests that the best way to win an argument is to avoid it altogether. Arguments are often unproductive because they create defensiveness and entrenchment in one's position. Even if you win the argument, you might lose the person's goodwill and trust. Instead of engaging in heated debates, Carnegie advises finding common ground and steering the conversation in a positive direction. This might involve acknowledging the other person's point of view and expressing a willingness to understand it before presenting your own perspective. Respect is a cornerstone of effective communication, and Carnegie emphasizes the importance of showing respect for others' opinions. Telling someone directly that they are wrong is likely to put them on the defensive and close off any possibility of productive dialogue. Instead, consider expressing your perspective in a way that respects the other person's viewpoint. For example, you might say, "I can see why you might think that, and I've considered that point of view as well. However, here's another angle that I believe is worth exploring." This approach keeps the conversation open and respectful. When you realize you've made a mistake, Carnegie advises to admit it quickly and emphatically. Admitting your errors can be disarming, earning you respect and trust. It shows that you're human, humble, and willing to take responsibility for your actions. For example, if you've made a wrong decision at work, promptly acknowledging the mistake and taking steps to correct it can prevent the situation from escalating and maintain your credibility with your team. Starting conversations on a positive note is another strategy Carnegie advocates. Begin in a friendly way to set the tone for the interaction. When you approach someone with warmth and positivity, they are more likely to be receptive to your ideas. In negotiations, starting with common ground or expressing genuine appreciation for the other person's perspective can pave the way for more constructive discussions. This approach helps to create a cooperative atmosphere where both parties feel valued. Carnegie also suggests getting the other person to say yes early in the conversation. By finding points of agreement at the outset, you create a positive momentum that makes it easier to reach consensus on more significant issues later on. For example, if you're negotiating a deal, you might start by highlighting areas where both parties already agree. This builds a sense of collaboration and makes it easier to navigate more challenging aspects of the negotiation. Another effective strategy is to let the other person do most of the talking. People like to feel heard, and by allowing them to express their thoughts and ideas, you make them feel valued. This approach also provides you with valuable insights into their perspective, making it easier to address their concerns. When discussing ideas, Carnegie advises letting the other person feel that the idea is theirs. People are more committed to ideas they believe they've come up with themselves. By guiding the conversation in a way that allows the other person to arrive at the conclusion you desire, you can win their support more effectively. For example, if you're trying to implement a new process at work, rather than imposing it, you could present the idea and ask for feedback, encouraging the team to build on it. When they feel that they've contributed to shaping the idea, they're more likely to support and implement it. Empathy is at the heart of Carnegie's approach to influence. He advises to try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. By understanding their perspective, you can communicate more effectively and find solutions that work for both parties. In practice, this might involve asking open-ended questions and listening carefully to the responses. For instance, if a colleague is resistant to a new initiative, you could ask, "What concerns do you have about this change?" This opens up a dialogue where you can address their concerns and find common ground. Carnegie also highlights the importance of being sympathetic to the other person's ideas and desires, acknowledging and respecting their feelings, even when they differ from your own, helps build rapport and trust. For example, if a client is upset about a service issue, expressing sympathy and understanding their frustration can go a long way in diffusing the situation. Saying something like, "I understand how frustrating this must be for you, and I'm committed to finding a solution," shows that you're on their side. To inspire others, Carnegie suggests appealing to their nobler motives. People like to think of themselves as good and noble, and by appealing to these ideals, you can encourage them to take positive actions. For instance, if you're leading a team on a charitable project, you might emphasize the impact of their work on the community and how their efforts contribute to a greater good. This appeal to higher ideals can motivate people to go above and beyond. Dramatizing your ideas can make them more compelling and memorable. Carnegie advises, using vivid examples, stories, and analogies to bring your ideas to life and capture the attention of your audience. For example, if you're pitching a new product, you could tell a story about a customer who faced a common problem and how your product solved it. This makes your pitch more relatable and engaging, helping your audience connect with the idea on an emotional level. Finally, Carnegie suggests throwing down a challenge as a way to motivate others. People love a good challenge, and framing your requests as challenges can inspire them to rise to the occasion and exceed expectations. In a work setting, this might involve setting ambitious goals and framing them as opportunities for growth and achievement. When people are challenged in a positive way, they're often more motivated to prove themselves and take on the task with enthusiasm. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. The final part of Carnegie's book focuses on leadership, specifically how to guide others and inspire change without causing offense or resentment. These principles are essential for maintaining harmony and effectiveness in any group or organization. Carnegie begins by advising leaders to start with praise and honest appreciation before offering constructive feedback. This approach sets a positive tone for the conversation and makes the person more receptive to your suggestions. For example, if you need to address an issue with an employee's performance, you might start by acknowledging their strengths and contributions. This shows that you recognize their efforts and makes them more open to discussing areas for improvement. When it comes to addressing mistakes, Carnegie suggests doing so indirectly. Rather than pointing out errors directly, which can cause embarrassment or defensiveness, you might share a story where you made a similar mistake. This approach allows the other person to learn from the feedback without feeling singled out. Before offering criticism, Carnegie recommends talking about your own mistakes first. Admitting your faults creates a sense of camaraderie and reduces the likelihood of resentment. It also shows that you're human and approachable, making others more willing to accept your feedback. For example, if you're addressing a mistake made by a team member, you could start by saying, "I remember when I made a similar mistake early in my career, and it was a tough lesson. Let's figure out how we can improve this situation together." This approach fosters a collaborative atmosphere and encourages learning. Instead of giving direct orders, Carnegie advises asking questions. This approach encourages cooperation and gives people a sense of ownership over their tasks. By involving them in the decision-making process, you empower them to take initiative and responsibility. For example, rather than saying, "Do this by tomorrow," you might ask, "What do you think we need to do to meet this deadline?" This question invites input and makes the person feel more engaged in the process. Preserving someone's dignity, even when they've made a mistake, is crucial in maintaining their respect and cooperation. Carnegie emphasizes the importance of letting the other person save face in difficult situations. For instance, if a colleague has made an error in a presentation, you could address the issue privately and offer support in correcting it. This approach helps maintain their confidence and encourages them to continue contributing. Positive reinforcement is a powerful motivator, and Carnegie advises praising even the slightest improvements. Recognizing progress, no matter how small, encourages continued effort and boosts morale. For example, if a team member has shown improvement in their work, even if it's minor, acknowledging their effort can inspire them to keep striving for excellence. Saying something like, "I've noticed you've been paying extra attention to detail lately, and it's really making a difference," reinforces their positive behavior. Carnegie also suggests giving someone a fine reputation to live up to. By expressing confidence in their abilities and character, you inspire them to strive for excellence and meet the expectations you've set. For example, if you're working with a new team member, you might say, "I've heard great things about your work ethic, and I'm confident you'll do a fantastic job on this project." This positive expectation can motivate them to live up to the reputation you've helped create. Encouragement is key to helping others overcome challenges. By framing a problem as something easily corrected, you reduce fear and increase motivation, making it easier for the person to take action. For example, if someone is struggling with a task, you might say, "I know this seems challenging right now, but with a few adjustments, I'm confident you can master it." This encouragement helps the person believe in their ability to overcome the obstacle. Finally, Carnegie advises making others feel happy about doing what you suggest. When people feel good about their actions, they're more likely to be motivated and to repeat those behaviors in the future. For example, if you need someone to take on an additional responsibility, you could frame it as an opportunity for growth and recognition. By highlighting the benefits and expressing confidence in their ability, you make the task more appealing and increase their willingness to take it on. Conclusion: How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie offers more than just strategies for success. It offers a philosophy of life grounded in empathy, respect, and understanding. By embracing these principles, you're not just learning how to influence others, you're learning how to bring out the best in yourself and those around you. These techniques are simple, but their impact can be profound. As you begin to apply them, you'll notice subtle shifts in how people respond to you, how they open up, and how they start to see you as someone who genuinely cares about their well-being. This isn't just about making friends or winning arguments. It's about creating meaningful connections that enrich your life and the lives of those you touch. Whether it's in your personal relationships, your professional life, or your daily interactions, these lessons will serve as a compass, guiding you towards deeper, more fulfilling connections with others. And in a world that often feels disconnected, these timeless principles offer a way to build bridges, foster understanding, and create a ripple effect of positive change. And that brings us to the end of our journey through How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. I hope you found this summary not only informative, but also inspiring. The principles we've discussed are more than just techniques. They're a mindset, a way of approaching relationships with empathy, sincerity, and a genuine interest in others. As you move forward, I encourage you to reflect on these principles and consider how you can apply them in your own life, whether it's in your personal relationships, your career, or your everyday interactions. These timeless lessons can help you connect with others on a deeper level, build stronger relationships, and ultimately lead a more fulfilling life. Remember, the key to success lies not just in understanding these ideas, but in practicing them consistently. The more you integrate these principles into your daily life, the more natural and impactful they will become. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this audiobook summary. If you enjoyed it, please consider sharing it with others who might benefit from these insights. And if you have any thoughts or feedback, I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep making a positive impact on the world around you.